box guy?
The box guy. Yes.
I'm a little skeptical about how much could come in a box, but what's in the box?
Well, let's see. I think you probably have an inkling what's in the box. So what is it? What is it you're looking for?
Well, I'm going through some rough times with my art. I'm based in the theater, but I'm trying to make it now as a filmmaker, and so I started this script, and we're now in production. I wanted to do something about typecasting for actors, and then it sort of became more this thing about identity. Well, what I chose to do was, it centers around this actor who he gets recruited by this agent who thinks it's this great idea for the actor to specialize in playing only one kind of role, and that one kind of role is the devil, Satan, Diablo, the whole bit. And so, you know, the actor, of course, he starts getting these roles, and it's kind of funny, it's kind of sad, it's kind of dark, it's kind of weird, but it's really strange for me, especially because the actor that I originally wanted to play this role, he kind of got cold feet. He didn't want to do this. There was too much weird energy surrounding the project, so I wound up stepping in, you know, because I've kind of got the goatee and the devil look and everything, you know, and I know, right? But ever since I took this role, I started the project, this darker energy's actually been following me. Like I've opened something up to start attracting the darker energies.
Have you considered playing against type?
Against type?
Yes, you know, you get more texture, I think, if you play against type. For instance, an evil person is perhaps a lot more evil if he doesn't sound evil. I mean, in reality, are evil people really the ones that go around going, no, not really. They don't do that. You know,
right, it's cartoony.
In films, a villain who is urbane, witty, and charming while he talks about vivisecting your girlfriend is a lot more frightening than somebody that's overtly evil and histrionic.
So that's the stylistic sort of external choice, but
yeah.
I guess the idea is inside this character still has to be evil, still has to be the darker energy, and that's not what I want to be. But yet I've somehow chosen to manifest this in a creative work, and it's bleeding through into my life. And
let's see, you're a victim of the method acting. You know, the people who, you know, the Daniel Day-Lewis, people like that, who go into something and that's who they are until the project is over. I mean, when he did There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood.
Yes, he was that character from the time he set foot on set till he left. He was not a pleasant person to be around, which is, I think, something that American actors do more than anybody else, because they've found the method to be the answer. You know, there's more than one answer, you know.
Yeah.
Brits don't do that. British go with the externals. Laurence Olivier, when he did Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman, has a scene where he's going to be subjecting him to horrible torture. And Hoffman shows up for this scene, and he looks horrible, and Olivier asks him what's going on, and Hoffman says, well, I've stayed awake for 3 days, so I'd really be raw and rough for the scene where you're going to do all this dental torture to me. And Olivier said, my dear boy, why don't you just act it? You know, because, you know, there is that. You know, Uta Hagen said, you know, that it doesn't matter how honest that core is. If it doesn't, you know, if you may be emoting anger and feeling it deep inside your angst or whatever it might be deep inside your soul, if it comes out as something else, well, it isn't working. You know, it's you've got to the external has to really agree with the internalized.
I agree.
And some people work from this end, and some people work from that end.
I guess, I mean, the actual method of acting, I mean, you know, it's there, but what's really happening is it's bleeding into my real life, and I'm almost thinking of just abandoning the project. I mean, is evil real? Is something I'm trying. I sort of wrote into the script this theme, and it can be sort of interpreted by the audience at the end that evil is not real, that evil is self-created, that there really is no hell, there is no devil. It's just man's sort of way to put form to fear, which is this abstract feeling that is the opposite of love. And I'd like to believe, I really would, that love is all there is, that it's the sole, singular, pure ingredient in everything, and that fear is an illusion. But I'm experiencing some real fear and some real darkness through this project, and it's scary.
So does evil exist? That's one of your questions, huh? And this might have the answer? Is that what you think? Enlightenment as a tool rather than knowledge for the sake of knowledge, something that you can use to get you out of your dilemma?
Sure.
Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Sure.
Okay.
Is what's in the box, did you make what's in the box? Did you find this box? What is this box?
The box is just a box. And like I said, let's not rush it, shall we? We're having a lovely chat.
Okay.
Aren't we? You asked about evil and whether it exists. Well, I mean, there has to be polar opposites, doesn't it? I mean,
Yin and
you
yang.
have to have yin and yang. You have to
Right.
have good and evil, or pleasure. You were talking
So it
about love and
exists.
hate, or pleasure and pain. I mean, pretty much the same thing, aren't they?
So it does. It has to, in order for love to exist, there has to be fear, there has to be evil for there to be good.
There has to be, for there to be hot, there has to be cold, that sort of thing, yes. And until you reach the heat death of the universe, entropy, where everything stops. But
Okay.
we
Well, hot
don't
and
have to
cold
concern
are-
ourselves with that.
Hot and cold are like measurable things. Like
Yes,
I can
yes.
feel something's hot, I can feel something's cold, I can measure it with quantification with a thermometer, but like things like good and evil, it's such a gray area.
No, it's subjective,
Exactly.
yes.
So
And
is it something different?
I mean, it's a question of what you think is good and what you think is bad. I mean, in the 1940s, Nazis in Germany thought they had a great idea. And the rest of the free world didn't agree with that. But they were both very polarized, and to each of them, it was the right position.
Following Hitler, there was this huge collective consciousness of all of these Germans who just joined this massive collective group idea. And so how can it be evil if so many people who comprise within themselves both parts of good and evil are part of the cause? Then isn't it both good and evil, not evil at all?
Well, as you're saying, for them, it wasn't evil. It's a still matter. It's an objective perception, isn't it?
Yeah. Huh. So, should I glean from this that evil is not absolutely real, that it's subjectively created, that it's relative?
If your approach to achieve a goal is harmful, but you achieve something that is useful, is it an evil act or is it a good act? It's still going to be.
The means are an ingredients within the whole, so I guess it's complicated. It's not purely one or the other.
Exactly.
I feel like my intentions are good, but I feel like I'm creating something evil, and I don't know why. Like, why I'm adding negativity and evil to the world when I feel like the current balance of the world, or at least Earth, is more darkness than light right now. But the light is able to convert the darkness, like this singular candle in a huge dark room. It's dark versus light, and the light is this much, and the darkness is all over the place, and still it converts to light, like wind.
The smallest occurrence can cause the biggest result.
Yeah.
That's chaos theory. You familiar with chaos theory at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, like
1890s,
Quantum
there was a
physics.
fellow who postulated as part of chaos theory that an initial condition. Let's see if I get this right. The initial condition of a dynamic system can cause profound changes, large, long-term changes in the behavior of that system. It's called it's later became known as the butterfly effect. Butterfly effect. Ray Bradbury wrote a short story about it.
Oh, he's great.
He wrote the story about a time traveler goes back in time, steps on a butterfly in prehistoric times, comes back, reality has changed because of that small effect. And then in 1972, for the American Association of the Advancement of Science, a gentleman delivered a speech that was titled, "Can a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil set off a tornado in Texas. So the smallest thing, like your light in the dark room, the smallest thing can cause profound changes. A butterfly, a seagull's flapping its wings changes the atmosphere just enough that 2,000 miles away and hours and things later, it has smallly affected the meteorological aspects of what's going on, and suddenly there is or there isn't a tornado, and in part because of that small contribution.
So then I've got to choose my small influence wisely if it could have epic proportional
and anything
results.
can, yes.
So then I mean there's a grave responsibility here. Like any small choice I could make could have huge ripple effects upon the universe. So so I've got to be responsible to choose these choices for good and for light and love and consciousness, not this devilish darkness. Why am I choosing that? Why?
Well, you're stuck in a project, aren't you? For one thing,
Yeah.
but it's opened up a door. It's created something. You're in touch with something that you didn't know existed within you. Obviously, I mean, aren't we all kind of good and evil? I mean, we all have the ability to change. Nothing stays constant in the universe, right? The only thing constant is change. I mean,
Right.
Until we get that heat
Never
death.
step in the same river twice. Everything's
Exactly,
always changing.
or it's not the same rock now that it is 10 minutes ago. You're not the same person.
Yeah.
If you drink orange juice or choose not to drink orange juice, that changes who you are. You know?
So are my changes that I'm affecting every day contributing to this altruistic good? Like I want to help everybody. I want my choices today to be benefiting the whole world, not bringing us back towards the dark age like I feel a lot of choices are that are made unconscious or for selfish means. Well, selfishness is okay. What's in the box? What's in the box? Can I look?
Not yet, I don't think. This is such an interesting conversation. Let's just pursue this a little further. This may be just the box for you.
Okay.
It may not be the box for you. I think we're determining that.
So what is enlightenment?
What is enlightenment? Well, enlightenment essentially is knowledge, isn't it? It's awareness.
Right?
It's that clear light. It's sometimes a brilliant point. It's
That's
what
what
the
I'm
Japanese
grabbing
call
towards.
satori, that sort of thing. And it may change your perspective. It may change your path. I mean, everything does, doesn't it? I mean, every second we're faced with choices. Do I open the box? Do I close the box? Do I drink the orange juice?
I just want to fork off in the directions that contribute to this collective greatness, moving us towards evolution and love and not de-evolution and fear.
Okay.
That's this whole devil thing. I don't want to be the devil. I want to be, I don't know. Is it wrong to want to be God?
Well, it's funny. There was a religion years ago that was eliminated by the Catholics in the 1300s. They were the Albigensians, also known as the Cathars. Their religion was partly Gnosticism. And their belief was that there were two gods, which made them very unpopular with the rest of the Christians. They thought there was a good God and a bad God, sort of like God and Satan. But their idea of the bad God was the God that created the physical world. That the physical world was evil.
Oh,
It keeps
so
you
the body's
admired
a
in the
sin,
physicality.
Sex
and
is a sin. Everything with the body is a sin.
yes, desires, hunger, all this appetites, all this acquiring wealth. This is all the physical world, Then there's the spiritual world. And the spiritual world is totally non-corporeal. And that's what these people were trying to attain. They were trying to get rid of the physical. They believed in reincarnation. They believed they had many times.
Reincarnating into another physical form, though, it's like constantly born into more sin and sin and sin. I don't like that model.
Well,
It dooms us from the start. It gives us shame. It gives us guilt. All these things that what good comes out of shame and guilt? I think you learn falsehoods through shame and guilt.
Do you? You think so? You believe in treat training. You don't believe in negative reinforcement, huh?
Well, I guess negative reinforcement, if the consequences to your action you perceive as negative, then you learn, and that's fine. But instead of practicing things like revenge, to practice things like forgiveness, and instead of guilt, just embracing the fact that we're imperfect beings in a relative universe that comes from an absolute source that is perfect. So we all, will funnel back into perfection and the absolute, but for now, can't we enjoy our imperfections? Isn't there beauty in our imperfections?
So, sounds like you think that we're on a journey towards perfection, and that's difficult, you think, and it's not happening fast enough?
I don't know. It's not like I want to open this box and attain nirvana immediately, but because if I did, then my journey would be over. I might as well just drop over and die and, either be gone forever or reincarnate into a new form or whatever happens after death. I don't need instant nirvana yet, but what I do want is enlightenment, which to me at least is just your eyes opening wider than ever before, just this awakeness, this awareness that is just so intense that boosts you on to the next level. And with this definition, you can be enlightened over and over again and continue to flower your consciousness and grow and expand into infinity.
Mm-hmm.
But with nirvana, it feels like you hit the ceiling of infinity, and then suddenly that's it. And it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know what I want.
Well, let's see. Well, with nirvana, then you end up in the Godhead with total bliss, and everything is just as happy. It's very happy, and
Well, that sounds great.
It does, doesn't it? Except, do things change? Is there any variation? Is there any pitch to that?
Right? Could get boring.
It certainly could.
Yeah, like how those jokes about everyone being bored in heaven and everyone in hell, gambling and swing dancing and having all that fun. I guess the metaphor for gambling is risk and chance and not knowing the outcome, and in that lies the excitement of adventure and possibility, chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But in perfection, I suppose there is no chaos.
So you don't want ultimate perfection. You want knowledge, gnosis. You want this enlightenment as a tool to use, right?
You're right, but it's complicated because I do want nirvana bliss, but I feel like not yet. Like I'm not ready. Like there's still so much I have to do in this vessel, in this manifestation, before I reincarnate back into the source and maybe pop out again. I don't know exactly what happens, but I'm ready to take it to the next level. I feel like I'm just hitting my head up against this wall, and I want to break through it. I want to tear down that barrier and just expand to that next level. I'm on the brink, So could something as silly as your box here Thank you. I have to go. I didn't catch your name, but I don't think I ever will, and that's fine with me. Thank you. Thank you.